Okay, the next question is, how is it that certain foods are bad or some people, bad for some people, impacting weight or moods, but not for others? And what are the frequency interaction mechanisms consciousness at play?
Well, the simple answer is we're all unique, we're all individuals, and we all have the way in which anything interacts with us, including food, is not just based on the energy of the food. It's based on our emotional attachments to that food. It's based on the way in which we, our biochemistry. And it's not just based on this lifetime. It's based on multiple realities and multiple lifetimes. So again, it would be very complicated, although there are some really amazing people out in the world who are offering support for our biology, for our food, for our diets and things like that, based on who and what we actually are, based on our personalized energy. But short of finding somebody like that in the world, again, let's go back to creation. Let's go back to what is it that we would like to create for our bodies. Yep. So this energy of health and well-being is really important right now. Our physicality is going through enormous shifts and changes. And quite frankly, I don't know about you, but I know that my thyroid medication has changed 3 times in the last 3 years. Didn't change for 50 some odd years, and then all of a sudden changed 3 times in 3 years. So we want to understand that everything is interconnected. So what is it that we want to create for ourselves? We want to create health and well-being. We want to create flexibility, ease, and grace as we move from one state of consciousness to another. We want our bodies to be able to be in support of that shift. So that's our creation. And then the very next question is, what would it feel like to be in that creation? What would it feel like to have a body that is that responsive to the shifts and the changes of our biology, psychology, neurology? What would it feel like to have a body that is so responsive to the subtleties that are taking place, within our realities? So as we kind of sit in there, the first place that I go to when I'm even saying that to you all is relief. It's just like a release, a relief. It just feels good to know that the body is so supportive and that the body is balanced. A lot of times if we're, discombobulated in our bodies, a lot of times we're blaming our bodies. It's, the body's this or the body's that. What do we want to create for that body? Yeah, we've got that capacity. And that capacity, I promise you, is going to continue to grow as the collective consciousness demands new ways of being in the world. Our creative capacity is going to come online stronger and stronger in any given moment, right? So let's choose it. Let's choose it. Yeah, because we could spin our wheels for days trying to figure out why anything is the way it is, and we would still be the way we were, maybe days, months, weeks later, whatever. So, yeah.
All right. This question is can you speak to the energy around RSV, because there's so many children in the hospital with this right now?
Yeah. Again, everything is energy. And we have had years now of, we've had years now of an experience that has, quite frankly, created a lot of fear in a lot of people, created stress, created overwhelm, and it, quite honestly, was pretty much designed for just that, as far as I can tell. And so, we have, children are no different than adults as far as what they're picking up and what they're sensing. Again, even if everything's all turned off and we're not listening to the rhetoric, you might say, the fear mongering, our children still pick up different experiences, and everybody's immune system has been weakened through fear. There's no way around it. I mean, fear does weaken the immune system. So again, it's, what is it that we would like to choose for ourselves beyond that? What would we like to choose for children that are having all kinds of, respiratory challenges? It's all interrelated. We're all interconnected, right? And so getting to this place where we really start empowering our children to choose, I think it is the key moving forward, right? And it's anything. And because the minute you invite your children to choose, you're inviting yourself to choose. You're also noticing what the belief systems are. I said to my grandson once, we were talking about God and about, and he's, he has the vision of that as being a male with a, long beard and a staff up on a cloud somewhere, right? And so and I said, wow, that's an interesting creation. I said, what if God's a woman? And it just, the eyes and the whole, wait, what are you talking about? It's like, no, that couldn't possibly be the case. And I was like, okay, so that couldn't possibly be the case. Again, what is it? What we're doing is we're just putting in question marks. We're seeing by saying, okay, what are we creating? What do we want to create? Is it this or is it that? Could it be both? And as we're starting to offer questions to the kids, we get to see where they've already been imprinted into certain worlds and realities, right? And from that place, we can then also say, well, what if we could create God as whatever we would like to create? What if your version of God, creator, all that is different than mine? Could it be that we can both have different views, right? So all I'm saying is the moment that we invite creation into the space, right? We get to hear what's already imprinted in our kids. Yeah. And when we hear what's already imprinted, we're not trying to necessarily sway them or make them believe what we believe. We're just saying that they have creative potential. What would you like to create? What would you like to create? And then just walk away. They may still want to create what dad told them or what mom told them or whatever. That's absolutely fine. But every single time we put a little question mark in there, every time we put curiosity in there, we begin to give the kids the remembrance that they are not stuck in what somebody else has told them has to be true. And that includes how they get ill or how they don't get ill, how many of them end up in the hospital, how many of them, right? We just want to point back to them that there's something more. And every single time we do that, whether we fully believe it yet or not, we then offer our own opportunity. We create an opportunity to ourselves to move into creation, right? It's a big shift we're making. It's a big shift we're making. I watch myself every single day kind of go, oh my gosh, yeah, I just believe that. I just take that for granted. Hello. So, so we just want to expand beyond that. And we've got the great capacity to do that now. Yeah. All right.
All right. This question is goes along with the sleeping one that we had earlier. It says, how can I help my son with his fear of sleeping?
Create a field where he's not afraid. Yep. So again, we see fear as the problem. So again, what would it feel like? You want him to feel safe, right? You want him to feel safe as he sleeps. So what does safety feel like? What does it feel like? How does your body react to safety? Yep. How can you imagine that his body might react to feeling completely safe? The moment that we step into that energy, we have created a vibrational information field that he can then choose, right? So, and this is, let me tell you, this is a skill set that nobody has really taught any of us. So there's no blame or shame here. There is simply a new opportunity to create information fields that energetically sensitive individuals can draw from. And if we consider that we are energy first, that everything is energy first, and we notice that our children are in fear of sleeping, in this case, then we can add energy to, quote unquote, in fear of sleeping, or we could create a new field for them to sleep in, a new information field for them to choose, right? And so when we add fear of sleeping, then we move into, how do I fix that? How do I make that not happen anymore? What do I need to do in order to make that go away? Well, what if the doing is more of a being? What if the doing is just simply stepping into safety? I want safety for my child. I want him to sleep with ease and grace through the night. Yep. And from that space, it feels like this. These are some of the things that he does and that he says when he sleeps in safety. Isn't that wonderful? Doesn't that feel nice? Isn't that rejuvenating? Right? And I promise you, somebody who has a diagnosis of being on the spectrum is so flipping aware of information fields and how they shift and change in any given moment, that everything that he needs will be in that information field. And he will draw to that instead of whatever is drawing him toward fear. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that's helpful. Yeah. I'm so excited about this. Some of you may already know, but at the end of January, I'm going to start a 6-month mentorship program, and really geared towards energetically sensitive kids and the people who love them and work with them and that kind of thing. But we really have to shift out of this dynamic of attempting to fix what's not broken. There is more and more, as I'm talking to this population and the information that they're sharing with me, they're getting more and more precise about what will work and what won't work, what the invitation actually is that they are presenting us with. And I was, I love the integration series that we do, and that's 6 weeks, and it can be pretty transformative, but I need 6 months. I need 6 months with you or with people who are interested in this process so that we can really begin to shift out of problem solving and into creatorship. And so that we can really begin to create information fields or spaces where information can be exchanged between the kids and ourselves, because honestly, they have all the information. All we need to do is be able to interact with them in a way that is meaningful to them. They are absolutely not here to be who we are. I mean, it's the biggest, you might say, it's the biggest kind of generational gap that we've seen in a really long time. You've got individuals who are coming in who are literally functioning in brand new ways, you might say, from other worlds, from other realities. And we're each trying to create the best invitation for them to be here that we can. But in order to create that invitation, we kind of have to learn some of their ways. We also need to be able to have some language that is maybe different than what has been used. So, and a lot of that language, as far as I can tell, is really around creating. Because at the end of the day, these kids are all inviting us to be much more expansive than maybe we have been up to this point. And I'm really excited about it. I'm a little nervous about it as well, because like I say, it's new for me as well. And I'm learning from them every step of the way. I'm learning from those broader parts of my own consciousness every step of the way. And you all have that within you as well. So that's what the invitation is in January for this mentorship. So, yeah.
All right, this next question is, part of me wants to put my work out there. I'm creating a website which brought up a lot of fear of being seen and putting my unique offering out there. That has eased mostly, but I still feel a yes-no dynamic happening. Yes, I want to work with people, and no, I don't want to do all the promotion, especially through social media, which I avoid.
Oh, we're on the same page. Sharon and I know this one very well. Yeah, so let's talk about this. So again, within the totality of our being, we are all that is, ever has been, ever will be. And within the totality of our being, there is an aspect of you, of me, of Sharon right now, where it's like we want to take the next step. We want to share something that's more maybe than we've shared before, and that's exciting and encouraging. And there's a part of us that gets all jazzed up for that. And then there's another part of us that says, well, wait a minute. Do you really want to do that? You're going to have people asking you all these questions, and your energy is going to be pulled on all the time, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And so you have one aspect that's saying, yeah, go get it. And you have another aspect that's saying, yeah, but what if? What about all these other things? Right? And both are valid. Both are valid. We're not trying to cut one out in order to have the other one. We want to make sure that we are listening and hearing both of those, because we can't really make a choice about how we want to move forward unless we listen to the voices that are showing up. Because let's say you kind of cast aside the one that says, yeah, but social media, and yeah, but what about all these other things, and the obligation or the responsibility or whatever that those are voices are saying. Let's say we could cast those aside and we just moved forward with, we're going to do this. then all of a sudden those experiences start coming in and we're not as thrilled with our decision anymore. Yeah, we don't really want to be in the place that we've created for ourselves because we haven't listened to all the different facets, right? It's also true that the conscious part of us that says, this is my choice, is one aspect of us. And the unconscious parts of us, the parts of us that are still trying to keep ourselves safe, say, don't do that. Are you crazy? Just like, don't put yourself out there, you know? And we can say it's about social media, or we can say it's about all kinds of things. But the fact is what it really is just that part of our unconscious, our subconscious that says, yeah, that's probably not a really good idea. You know, it's safer back here, stay back here. Yeah. We don't know what that feels like yet. So we don't want you to do that. So we want to have some conversations with those parts of ourselves. We want to encourage those parts of ourselves that need encouragement, that we actually can step forward. We actually can do what we want to do next. And we can also just, what would we like to create? We would like to create an inner community where everybody wants to go the same direction. Whatever that direction is, we want to create an inner community that is really ready to explore and to be curious again. Yep. And if we're not so keen on certain aspects of that, social media being one of them for me too, when we have that, you know, again, can we find somebody who can do that for us? Can we find somebody who has that interest? Yep. Because what I notice in my own experience is now that we've got some people who have that interest and are supporting us in that way, all of a sudden I'm excited about it again. I'm not the only one doing it all by myself. You know, it's like, I think that's my inner child saying, oh, I'm going to have to do this by myself. And it's not so much the social media piece of it. It's some other belief system that gets stuck. Yeah. Yeah. So we want to understand that every single time, any single time we choose to step forward in any given way about anything, there's going to be the stepping forward. And there's also going to be the parts of us that say, yeah, but this is all we've ever known. There's going to be a rebuttal every single time. Every single time. We just want to make sure that we just don't listen to the rebuttal and kind of go, okay, you win. I'm not going to do it. Right? And then we back up. Yeah, there's not enough energy work in the world to shift that. We literally have to shift it, right? We literally have to go to it and say, it's all right. We have to create a new environment for those parts of ourselves that are nervous about stepping forward so that they choose to step forward, right? And can't cut them off, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All right. This question is when we say a weakened immune system, what does that mean? Does it mean we are holding denser frequencies tethered to certain beliefs and emotions, fear, belief in the power of certain pathogens, or perhaps another way to articulate the question, what is the energetic of the immune system, apart from the system or specific human biology understanding of it?
I think you hit it at the beginning. What the first response that you gave to your question was kind of an inclusive one. The second response you gave to the question was more of an exclusive one. Is it this or that? Is it all these things, or is it this or that? And so all I'll suggest here is that, you know, there are amazing people out in the world who speak about this. Bruce Lipton is one of them. He's amazing at talking about, you know, what his book, The Biology of Belief, right? So all I want to suggest here is that everything about us is energy first, right? Everything about us is energy first. And if that is actually the case, then anything and everything, especially belief systems, can impact our immune system, right? And that's why I'm saying it's like when we had the last few years of literally something that was supposedly gonna kill us, right? Supposedly, this virus that was going to, and quite frankly did, a lot of people did die in these last several years. All I'm suggesting is that there are all kinds of factors and facets as to why somebody's immune system becomes weakened. And we know through research at this point that stress is a huge indicator of a weakened immune system, right? And we also know that our belief system has a huge impact on stress, right? What we believe. Do we believe that right now that the world is going to hell in a handbasket? Or do we believe that there is a major transformation happening and we are moving into lighter states of being? And we probably vacillate between the two, within our community, inner community, we vacillate between all of it. So the opportunity to not spend as much time in the consideration of what is or is not weakening the immune system and start spending much more time in creating a strong immune system, right? Because if we are those creator gods, if we are capable, like I know we are capable, then as we spend our energy in the creation of a strong immune system, then different things start showing up in our worlds that are uniquely designed for us to strengthen our immune system. We could all sit here and sit in the energy of a strengthened immune system, right? We're just pulling in from our totality a strengthened immune system. And as we pull in that strengthened immune system, every single person here would get an insight or a hit or some guidance as to what step might be required to take in order to do that. Somebody gets more vitamin C, somebody needs to go out and take a walk, somebody, right? Each one of us is going to have a unique experience of what will strengthen that immune system. But the important piece is that we set that intent, if you will, or we start creating that field for ourselves. Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
That is it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So let me just see if there's anything else. This really is a shift. There's something about moving from 2022 to 2023 that literally is an opportunity to step into creatorship. Everything that we are doing in the New World Portal, definitely in this mentorship, in the different things that are offered through me anyway, are all going to be offered from this opportunity to shift into creatorship. And so again, this question that we can ask ourselves, am I trying to fix something? In this moment, am I trying to fix something that is broken? Or have I created a field of energy that I want to live in? And I really want us to understand that your whole life, many lifetimes, you have been conditioned to fix problems. And just look at the world, you know, it can be one flipping thing after another, you know, it's like, and so what actually stops that? What is it that actually stops that cyclical pattern of one damn thing after another, right? It might just be that what really brings that to a completion, right? Somebody said to me the other day, we're never done. Suzy, you're not done, but you are complete, right? And I thought, whoa, I could really feel that energy in my body. It's like, you're never done, but you are complete. And I thought, okay, if I'm complete, right, then what are my creations? So we're not looking for something to be fixed. We're not looking for something to be done. We are looking for something to be complete. And within that completion, we can pull, if it's complete, it's whole, right? If it's complete, we can pull from all kinds of different facets from it. So that's another thing that's going to be very different about this mentorship than other things that I have offered, because we are going to experience this from complete, right? Complete. What can we pull from our completeness, from our wholeness, right? Not what we can fix. So, all right. I hope that's helpful, everybody. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. So, all right. Lots of love, everybody. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.